Good evening and welcome to the Monday, August 15th, 2016 Jurupa Unified School District Board meeting. And we will start with roll call, please.
President Schmidt.
Here.
Trustee Garcia.
Here.
Trustee Mendez absent. Trustee Johnston.
Here.
Trustee Chard.
Here.
Taylor Seaver. Esmeralda Rosales. Trinity Sihavong absent.
Thank you. And Mr. Garcia, would you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I have tonight's inspiration. And in light of the Olympics, I wanted to take a moment to remember our students and the example that Simone Biles has set. She was born to a drug and alcohol addicted mother and was raised in foster care before being adopted. And she could have used this as an excuse to fail, but instead she used it as a reason to succeed. And as a teacher and support staff, I just wanted to take a minute to remember that in all of our classes, there are students just like Simone waiting for somebody to give them a chance to succeed instead of putting them down. So, and I know that that is our staff tries to do the best they can for all of our students. And just remember that one of them may be in the Olympics or some other great adventure someday. Thank you. Next, we'll move to introductions of the 2016-2017 school resource officers. Mr. Duchamp.
Well, you might be wondering why all these good-looking people in uniforms are here tonight. They're to protect you, serve you, and keep you in line. For those of you who couldn't get in earlier, no, I would, in all seriousness, these are, and I'll introduce Sergeant Portillo in a minute to introduce him, but I do want to say a few words. We have always had just an extraordinary group of ladies and gentlemen that serve our schools. We now have all 3 middle schools, the high school, and Nueva Vista High School served by school resource officers. It is an integral part of our school program, our curriculum, our safety program, and more often than not, there is sometimes the misperception that these officers are there to catch students, but 9 out of 10 times they're there to protect students, to protect the community, and really as role models for our students. And I can say for the over 15 years that I've been in the district, have had the opportunity to work with a number of these ladies and gentlemen. They are the finest. I think they represent the very best law enforcement has to offer. We have enjoyed a cooperative and collegial relationship with the Riverside County Sheriff's Department that now offers law enforcement to the city of Jurupa Valley. And we are now served by the sergeant who supervises this unit, who is a Jurupa native and, kind of a native son of Jurupa. I mean, it's just so great to have Sergeant Mike Portillo here, but I cannot tell you literally how many times a week these officers protect our children, investigate things from domestic violence to threats to campus, and how rarely they really have to deal with problems that our students are causing. And I think it provides for many students, oftentimes students who are having problems at home, even though we try to keep a welcoming environment, they go to the school resource officer because that's the officer that they believe will really help them, stand by them, and take care of them. I could go on all night, and I won't, but I just am so proud and privileged to have all of you working with our students and our children. Every day, our parents send 19,000 children to this district, and together with your help, I think we provide the very safest environment possible. Sergeant Portillo, would you like to introduce the team?
Good evening, members of the board, cabinet, and audience. My name is Mike Portillo. I'm a sergeant with the Sheriff's Department and a graduate from the Jurupa Unified School District. The first deputy I'd like to introduce is Deputy Mike Lucero. Mike Lucero is a 14-year veteran with the Sheriff's Department and has 3 years SRO experience. Next one is Deputy Gabriel Maldonado. Deputy Maldonado is assigned, Deputy Lucero is assigned to Patriot High School, and Deputy Maldonado is assigned to Mariloma Middle School. He's got 9 years with the Sheriff's Department, 3 years as an SRO. Next is Deputy Dacia Medina. She is assigned to Jurupa Valley, and she has 11 years of time with Riverside Sheriff's Department, 2 years as an SRO. Next one, our newest member is Deputy Robbie Robinson. He's assigned to Nueva Vista High School. He's got 13 years with the Sheriff's Department, and this will be his first year as an SRO, newly assigned. The next one is Deputy Elizabeth Urena. She's assigned to Jurupa Middle School. She's got 16 years with the department, and she started the SRO program in April of 2016. And lastly, Deputy Ron Waters. He's assigned to Rubidoux High School. He's got 9.5 years with RSO and 3 years as an SRO. The two that couldn't make it today is Deputy Anderson. She's our Youth Accountability Team deputy. She has 18 years with the department, and she's served 6 years with YAT. And then lastly, Deputy Dean Montgomery. He wasn't able to make it. He's assigned to Mission Middle School. He's got 25 years total law enforcement experience, 10 with RSO, and he has 3 years as an SRO. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming tonight and for volunteering to be SROs again this year and trying it out new. Also, we look forward to seeing you all. Next, we will move to the student board members for 2016-2017. Mr. Duchamp.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I was in a different part of the agenda. We are very pleased to have, well, they're not brand new, but they're brand new to being student board members here tonight. Our Rubidoux board member could not make it, so I will introduce her next time. I think young women are greatly overrepresented. It seems like we only maybe get one young man a year, so we're pleased to have you ladies. So from Jurupa Valley High School, we have Taylor Sievert, and from Patriot High School, we have Esmeralda Rosales. And we are very pleased to have both of them. We did have a training which was, I think they got it all, so they said they were a little nervous, so don't be, everybody's friendly and welcome, and we hope this will be a very, very valuable experience for you as you go through life. So thank you for being here, and I understand that you're going to split the report for Rubidoux. Normally, we don't start any particular place, so can I start with you, Taylor, and have you do the report for Jurupa Valley and whichever part you're going to do?
So for, do you want to go with this one? We can split. We can do this. Okay, we're gonna do Rubidoux's first.
The day before school started, they had their freshman orientation with the class of 2020. Their Linker leaders gave the baby Falcons a tour of their new nest. On the first day of school, they also had a freshman rally, and they are also experiencing the new 5-star system. their sports are prepping for the season.
So for the new school year, the students are joining either clubs or sports, and mostly the freshmen had tryouts over summer break and are already part of the teams. The freshmen have been adjusted smoothly, and the sophomores, juniors, and seniors already know their way around. Now that it's the 2016 school year, we have slowly reached the point of letting technology take over our school system. It's a good opportunity to reach to the students, and for Rubidoux, we just started using Chromebooks, and we will start using the 5-star system. All of the students have successfully started using their Chromebooks, and so have I. Considering I have wrote this report using the Chromebook, we are hoping that 5-star will get everyone more involved in our school and hope that they have more school spirit. That was from Rubidoux.
Since you are already in charge and in control of this, why don't you pick who goes next? Either one of you. All right, Esmeralda, why don't you go next and tell us about this year?
Should I introduce myself? Okay, I'm Esmeralda Rosales. I'm ASB Vice President, and starting with registration, we actually gave out over 2,000 Chromebooks, and also with every Chromebook passed out, we also started using our new 5-star program, which gives each student a good bonus points, and it's a good way to keep track of who's really participating and who's going to the games and such. And our freshman orientation went so great with our Link Crew leaders. Everything was so fun. The freshmen felt at home. Our sports parade was actually on Friday, and everybody was so pumped about it. The band was playing. Everybody was, it was great. Our parent meeting for our digital gateway is actually on August 24th in the Patriot High School Theater at 6 o'clock. Our back to school night is August 30th. Our first fall blood drive of this year is August 31st. All our sports such as volleyball, football, girls and boys cross country, and girls tennis are actually all prepping for this season. That's all I have for today.
Thank you. So you are Jurupa Valley High School.
So for our 2017 school year, our clubs that are starting with are ASB, and we have 72 kids interested in the student class, and that's not including the club. I think for our club we have 40 other kids. So, and we finally picked a theme for homecoming. It's throwback, so from 50s to the 80s, and each class will get each year. And freshman orientation went really good. It was kid ran the whole entire time, and it was just a really good outcome. We also had registration for ASB. It was all 5 days, all ran by ASB, and it was a good outcome. It was a little hard and frustrating, but I think we did pretty good. And for FFA, our SoCal Fair is coming up. It is October 1st through the 9th. And we have a lot of kids joining, but we're all trying to get new kids to join. And our new ag teachers, Miss Nordstrom and Miss Tapia, have a lot of new things planned for this year, so we're trying to make it really good. And for athletics, the sports that are in season is tennis, football, volleyball, and water polo. And for tennis, the first tennis match is September 1st. And football, we got a brand new fencing around the new football field, and their first game is August 26th. And volleyball is August 24th, and water polo is August 30th. And we also want to thank the board for the new Chromebooks. They're really good, and I think it's a lot better than having to use paper. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, and I see that you've already begun personalizing your Chromebooks, too. All right, next we'll go to recognitions and recognize funding for the 21st Century Community Learning Centers. Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. The CDE recently notified us that funding for the 21st Century Community Learning Centers Core has been awarded again in the amount of $335,232. Those funds will be utilized at Granite Hill, Ina Arbuckle, Indian Hills, Rustic Lane, and Sunnyslope Elementary Schools, and will be supported by Think Together.
Okay. The second is to recognize the funding for the 21st Century Community Learning Centers, the equitable access.
Thank you. We were also notified that we received funding again for the 21st Century Community Learning Center's Equitable Access in the amount of $125,000. And those funds will be utilized at Granite Hill, Ina Arbuckle, Indian Hills, Rustic Lane, and Sunnyslope as well, and will be supported by Think Together.
Thank you. And next, we need to report out from closed session. Mrs. Elzig?
Thank you. The board voted with a 4-0 vote in closed session to accept the resignation of the Director of Maintenance and Operations, Mr. Sean Gatewood. Thanks.
Thank you. And next, we'll move to public verbal comments. And Mr. Dayton.
Thank you. If it's okay with the board, my mom will donate her time to me so she wouldn't have to speak, so I can get a little bit more time. Is that okay?
What's the board? Okay, go ahead.
I'm here on a concern of the FFA at Jurupa High School. My two boys, as a family decision, we decided to stay at Jurupa instead of moving to another district because of who you guys hired, which I think that teacher, Miss Nordstrom, is going to be a wonderful teacher over there and is going to be doing it. But I do see her hands are tied behind her back, okay? And there's a big problem here. First of all, my two kids got the opportunity to take government and econ course. You know, it's a senior class. They're juniors. Because of the enrollment, they canceled the class. That is due to the counselors not doing their job placing kids in this class. There is plenty of kids that could have taken that class. They just didn't seek them out. They weren't able to go out and promote that class the year prior to try to get them get kids to sign up for the class. So my kids' education has now been failed again by Jurupa district because they do not have a class that was offered that they should have been able to take. That's the first thing. Second thing is we're trying to get a lot of things done with Miss Nordstrom. They were real excited to come in there. My understanding is there's been plenty of people approaching her saying, I signed up for an ag class. I'm not in ag. I need an ag class. The way they have it structured, she can't get these kids in the classroom. There's a problem with that. It's due to us being able to go out there and try to get this done prior to again, and it didn't happen. The classrooms are now split. We have Miss Tapia and Miss Nordstrom in two different areas of the school. The two ag teachers should be working together closely. They should be able to talk between passing periods. They should be able to work together all day long. If something arises that needs to happen on the farm, the other teacher should be able to say, hey, I need to go check that lamb. That lamb's giving birth right now. Can you watch the classroom for a minute? Can't happen now. It's not, because they're too far away from each other. It's not economical. This needs to be changed. We need to get the ag suite back to the ag department. We need to get the construction teacher out of that classroom, which they took away one of the main ag classes that have the gas to be able to do their science projects and that kind of stuff. They don't have the floral classroom doesn't have a floral cooler in it. I was told that they are not going to even offer floral next year because they're not willing to buy a floral cooler for the floral design. When we have a floral cooler in the construction classroom, doesn't make sense to me why we are not using that classroom for an ag class. The office, the ag office, where the teachers met, and it was basically the computer room to be able to do their projects and stuff on, and that kind of stuff, is now being told that she's going to have to share that with the construction guy, and he's going to start putting in some equipment in there. So now she's losing that part of it. My question is, did we hire these people to fail? Or did we hire these people to make this program grow, make this program thrive? That is my question to you guys. I think you guys need to look into this. We have the fair coming up. They had an advisor from Mrs. Fuller. Mrs. Fuller from Rubidoux was supposed to be the new teacher's advisor to be able to come in there. I was told today that Ms. Fuller is no longer able to advise them, that they are going to have another person come in 2 weeks to start advising them on how to do paperwork and that kind of stuff. Who is this person? Do they have the background? Do they have the knowledge? It needs to be an ag teacher. It needs to be somebody that knows the system. These are the things that are a problem. I don't understand why we have to continually come up to the board to have you guys, for us to come in and explain to you what is going on. The pig feeders were taken out because of a thing that how can I put it? It was a disease that was in there that and the disease would have been killed within 30 days of all the animals off the farm. Well, they were thrown away. I was told everything that was thrown away off the farm was going to be replaced. Still, pig feeders aren't in the pig barn. Yes, they're coming in. They need to be built, but they're not adequate for the pen space. They're one-hole feeders. They're not the triple feeders that were there. The greenhouse. Where's the stuff for the greenhouse? We're wanting to grow, make this thing grow. Let's build the greenhouse. Let's get that done. Let's get the scale back. We need to get a scale in there. We were told you guys threw it away. It was going to be replaced. It's still not there. Why? What is the reason behind this? I was told there's grant money. Where is it at?
Mr. Day, please wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I do really hope you guys are all for ag. All the board members are here for ag, because this is an ag city. And I'll tell you, if I find out one of you guys aren't for ag, I'll find somebody to replace you. And I'm a voter, and I will get you replaced. Thank you.
Thank you. Warren Dayton?
Hi, my name is Warren Dayton. I am here for the FFA. Our teacher, Miss Tapia, I'm in her floral design, and she's saying that she's going to have to go every single day in the morning near 4 o'clock in the morning to a floral shop to get flowers, which we can order them online and get them later and then put them into a floral cooler like we did last year. But instead, we don't have a floral cooler because it's in the construction classroom. The two teachers need to be together so they can discuss FFA things, FFA events, and FFA animals and projects. They also need to talk to each other about everything that is going on throughout the FFA, like getting pig feeders in, making sure all the animals are put away, making sure all the pens are clean, everything like that. And plus, I can't speak. I can't remember what I was going to say. Crap. I forgot. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Kyle Dayton?
I'm coming up here mainly for the same reasons that my brother and my dad has already discussed. Different things have been happening through the FFA. We decided to come back to this school after deciding that we were going to go to Norte Vista because the ag program was messed up as of last year. We decided to come back because we thought that you guys were actually being true to your promises, that you guys were going to grow the FFA, you guys were planning on building it to a great chapter again like it was. I'm not seeing this happen. Ag government and econ, I was told, was originally offered this year. A teacher was told that she was going to be able to teach the class. I signed up for it. I had a couple other students sign up for it, but it was canceled due to the fact of not having enough students in there. It being an ag class, you don't necessarily need to have kids volunteer to be in the class. It's not an AP class where you have to sign forms and everything like that. You get put into the class. So there's no reason why we couldn't have placed more people into this ag government and econ class, and it would have completed mine and my brother's pathway to complete the ag course through Jurupa Valley High School. Now we can't do that. So we decided to go with floral this year because we have to be in an ag class to be in FFA, because that's what my brother and I have strived to do throughout our 4 years of high school. Now there's rumors going around that we're not even going to have floral next year, which kind of seem completely believable because of the actions that have already been taking place, such as moving the floral teacher or horsemanship teacher, which however you call her, into a completely different classroom. C4 was made specifically with the floral cooler in there for floral to be made. Why would you waste that money that you spend, or that the taxpayers spend? Why would you waste that money by putting a construction teacher in there? There's just no logic in there. That construction teacher could have just as easily gone in the portable like the floral teacher did. To wrap this up, I think it's getting a little sad that it's become a routine for FFA students to come to the board meeting and have to talk. When I first came up here the first time, I was nervous. Now it's kind of like just a routine. I come up here and talk to you guys. It's not how it's supposed to be. This doesn't happen in other districts. It means you guys need to step it up and start doing what we're asking and what we care about. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kyle. Sylvia?
I have a picture here of a table that the kinder kids at Camino Real are eating on. It's been brought to my attention that the assistant director of M&O was told about this and said it didn't need to be replaced. I know you're not going to want to see the picture, but it's a safety issue. We are all here for the kids, period. Let's speak about Measure EE. The community was promised so many things with that measure passing, and it did. And all these upgrades were going to take place, and they have happened, some at Jurupa. But I believe more have happened here in this district office. Carpets are being replaced. Leather couches are being put in. Big TVs are being put in. Bulletproof glass in personnel. Kind of makes you wonder what has personnel done that they fear that much for their lives. This is ridiculous. We are here for the kids. I have been fighting for these kids to get driver's ed. It's a safety thing. Too many kids are dying who don't have that. Home economics, wood shop, metal shop, car shop. Why aren't these things being brought back? We are here for the kids. Measure E was supposed to affect the kids, yet the schools that got new carpets were the newer schools, which in no way, shape, or form makes any kind of sense. Carpets are falling apart at Glen Avon. The tile at Glen Avon is breaking, yet carpet is being placed in this building, which is the newest building second to Patriot. Are we serious? I mean, you made so many promises to this community, just as you made promises to the ag department. Promises that evidently haven't been brought forth because they're here again. I mean, that should bring some kind of shame that they're having to come back. And you wonder, why do people come to these board meetings to complain? Why don't you do things right so people don't have to complain? Why don't you do what is right by the kids? And another thing is our director of M&O retired. I do not for 1 minute believe that was on his own volition. This man was the only man that has been there that has walked in custodian shoes, because he was one. We didn't always agree, but we respected one another with the honesty. Now he's leaving, not even being here a year. The first good administrator that has been put in is now leaving. Something's wrong, and it needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed now. There's enough with all the promises. Promises are coming and going, and they're not being seen. So you need to take a look at what people are telling you, because it's happening. And I'll tell you one thing right now. If one kid at Camino gets hurt because the assistant director thought that this table should not be replaced, I will be back with that parent.
Next, we'll move on to administrative reports and written communications, and with information on testing schedule and district assessment calendar, Mr. Dabrowski.
Thank you. In your supporting documents, you have the testing schedule for the 3 comprehensive high schools and the district's assessment calendar for 2016-17.
Thank you. And next is item 4B, to consider the nominations for California School Boards Association Directors at Large, Asian Pacific Islander, and Hispanic. Mr. Duchamp.
Thank you. Well, I had a panic, my screen froze. But CSBA has put out a call for directors at large, Asian Pacific, and Pacific Islander and Hispanic. Those should be filed with CSBA by Friday, September 30th, 2016, with the election to be held, I believe, at the Delegate Assembly on November 30th and December 1st. So if you wish to submit any nominations, please let me know.
Thank you. And next, we'll move to the action session and approve routine action items by consent, items A, 1 through 32, as printed.
Motion for approval.
Have a motion by Mr. Garcia,
Second.
a second by Ms. Chard. Call for the vote, please. And student board members, before I read the boards, do you approve the action session items? Taylor? And Esmeralda? Thank you. And motion passes 4-0 by the board and 2-0 by student board. Item B is to amend the architectural and engineering services contract for Troth Elementary School Measure EE Modernization Project. Dr. Hanson.
Yeah, both the items B and C are similarly related. They're just 2 different architects. But essentially, it's an increase to their contract as we begin the design phase. Initially, we allocated money to do some of the surveying and just the initial steps. And now we've tasked them with to begin the design phase of that school. And so this item is to increase their contract so they can begin moving forward on that design. Administration recommends this evening that the board award a revised contract to WLC Architects for Troth Street Elementary, Measure EE Modernization Project, and the revision will reflect an increase to the scope of work for the project and the cost of the services in the amount of $1,129,432.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Mr. Garcia,
Second.
a second by Ms. Johnston. Questions or comments? Call for the vote, please. Student board members, we'll start with you first, Esmeralda. Do you approve of item B? And Taylor? Thank you. And motion passes 4-4 board and 2-0, or 4-0 board and 2-0 student board. Item C is to award the architectural and engineering services contract for West Riverside Elementary School Measure E modernization project. Dr. Hanson.
Again, this is an increase to Runau and Clark's contract so that they can begin the design phase for West Riverside Elementary School. Administration recommends that the board award this or increase to their contract in the amount of $1,087,693.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Garcia,
Second.
second by Mrs. Chard. Questions or comments? Call for the vote, please. Taylor on item C. Thank you. Esmeralda? Thank you. And motion passes 4-0 board and 2-0 student board. Item D is to award the contract for portable relocation services at Sunnyslope Elementary School. Dr. Hanson.
This contract is to relocate 2 existing portables at Sunnyslope so that we have space to build a 2-story portable to be able to handle the increase due to the dual immersion program at Sunnyslope Elementary. Administration recommends that the board award this contract to Class Leasing for on-site relocation of 2 portable classrooms in the amount of $24,660.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Garcia and second by Ms. Johnston. Questions or comments? Call for the vote, please. And Esmeralda on item D. Thank you. Taylor? Thank you. Motion passes 4-0 board and 2-0 student board. Measure E is to adopt resolution number 2017-15, the resolution in support of Proposition 51, the Kindergarten through Community College Public Education Facilities Bond Act of 2016. Dr. Hanson.
As you're aware, there's going to be a state facilities bond initiative on the November ballot. This resolution is for the district. Administration recommends that the board adopt this resolution in support of that initiative. We've done an extensive survey or study on our district and its eligibility if state money were to become available, and the amount is significant for our district, albeit that there is an unfunded list. In other words, there's a line that we have to get into. But if this bond were to pass and the governor chooses to fund it, then we would, there's a significant impact to our district financially to help assist with some of these, many of the projects that we're engaged in throughout our district. So this evening, administration recommends that the board adopt resolution number 2017/15 supporting Proposition 51, the Kindergarten through Community College Public Education Facilities Bond Act of 2016.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Garcia, second by Mrs. Chard. Any questions or comments? Call for the vote, please. And Esmeralda? Thank you. Taylor? Thank you. Motion passes 4-0 board and 2-0 student board. Item F, board member comments and committee reports. We'll start with you tonight, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, President Smith. First, I'd like to thank all the new SROs that have joined on and Deputy Maldonado. for continuing his service in our district. We really appreciate that. Next, I'd like to talk a little about Digital Gateway. I had an opportunity to go to Mariloma Middle a couple of weeks ago, and I'd like to thank Mr. Lewis and his team for a great event. There must have been close to 200 parents and students there, and I'm sure Mission Middle was probably well attended as well, which very positive. I think obviously the students are really liking those, so great job. And I'd like to welcome the student board members, Taylor and Esmeralda. Welcome. And I'm also glad to see you brought your Chromebooks and you're decorating them, and I hope they work well for you. I'd like to thank Mr. Hansen, Dr. Hansen, for all all the hard work you and your team have done this summer and continue to do. I know a lot of the projects don't seem like they're, maybe going through as smoothly as you might want, as people might want. A lot of things have to take place, and I know, I think a lot of the schools that folks mentioned tonight are going to have the upgrades by the time it's all said and done. So a lot of progress all over the district, and thank you again and your team for that. And it's sad to see Mr. Gatewood go. I know he did an outstanding job, and I'm sad to see him go. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Chart.
Well, I want to welcome everybody back to a new school year. Welcome our new board members, our student board members, and our new SROs. Some of them are returning, and some of the new ones, hopefully they won't have too many challenges at the beginning of the year and can get right into to their positions. I attended a couple of back-to-school nights before school started, actually. Peralta was the first one that had one. And it was quite interesting because the teachers were very well prepared to do presentations to demonstrate the programs that they were offering. But just as they got ready to start the back-to-school night, the power went out in the whole area. And so they were very disappointed that they did not get to show off all the hard work they had gone to. But I did go to a couple of the classes, and they put on outstanding presentations just by talking about what was going to happen and encourage the parents to come. I also attended West Riverside and Einar Arbuckle. And both of those all three of them had outstanding amounts of parents to come. I was surprised because they all held them at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And most parents are not home yet, but the parents did make an effort to come. Some came late. And they stayed during the whole program. They didn't wander off to the classrooms like they usually do when they tell the teachers, go to the classroom, get set up. The parents stayed and listened to the principals, which is very encouraging that the parents are really getting into what's going on at their child's school. They want to be part of their child's education. And I think the Chromebooks might have something to do with that. I'm hearing from a lot of the parents that they were enthusiastic when their children brought the Chromebooks, when they were using the Chromebooks last year, and some of the schools that already have them, where the kids were learning so much easier, so much faster. They were so enthusiastic about school. They weren't wanting to miss school, and that's really good for us. Makes it look like a really good investment for us that for the next 2 years, hopefully they'll stay encouraged, and our scores will go up, and our kids will be much happier. Everyone will be happier, including the parents, not having to spend so much time. I want to comment just quickly on why I ran for the board. I ran for the board because I wanted to get the school bond issue passed, because I've grown up in the area and I've known what the schools are like. I went through Einar Arbuckle, West Riverside, Rustic Lane, some of the older schools. Those schools were in need of repair, and they're getting those repairs. There's a process that we have to go through. When I was working in a school office, I would receive the old agendas, and they were this thick. And as a board member now, I would have had to sit and read all of those documents. Each of these departments prepare documents that have to be approved at these meetings. They have to account for every penny that is spent. And if you think it's just maybe they're putting something under the table, they're not. We have to, as board members, as employees of the district, we have an obligation to not only the students, not only the parents, the state, we have an obligation to everyone. Everybody here is a stakeholder. The people that don't even have children are stakeholders in this area, and they want to know what's happening. And it's all public information. It's all on our website if you have any questions about it. If there's a problem with things that are going on at your school sites, you can always go to your principal first. You can talk to them, meet with them. The board is limited to what we can do until the end. You have to take certain steps, and if you don't know what those steps are, call your school site, call the superintendent's office. They'll tell you what it is. We are in support of everyone that comes here, every person that speaks, the public speakers. I feel for your problems, I feel for your situations, and I totally understand, and we do ask questions about them. We read up on what's going on, so please, it's only the 5th day of school. Please give us a little bit more time. We'll get things straightened out. If things are not going your way or going the way you want them to go at your school or at the sites, our enrollment is going up continuously. I was looking at it today. It's gone up over 300 students in the district just in 4 days. And then I know as a school secretary, it's going to continue to go up. We're going to be back where we were last year or even more. And with all the housing that's going around, all the building that's going on, it takes a lot of people to handle all this, and we need to give them all our support, and we need to support our parents, we need to support our students, because in the end, it is for the children. We are speaking here, we are here for them. I'm sorry, didn't mean to take so long. But let's just sit back and just give a little more time and be patient. But if you need anything, come back to the next board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Johnston.
Thank you for the deputies for their commitment to our schools and our kids. They're there whenever we need them. We can't live without you. I'm happy to see new student board members. This is a great opportunity for you guys to see how government works. I know there's a lot you don't see through the agenda and sit and listen, but we do a lot of meetings apart from the board. We know we review budgets, and we've reviewed and seen the fantastic budget that we have for all of our bond money, for all of our schools, and what it's going to be spent on. And many things are all going on at the same time. They're in architectural drawings, there's surveys, there's all of these things that happen before construction starts and improvement starts. There's a lot to it. And we put carpet in all over the district, not just here. So our guys are really on top of it. We have beautiful books and Chromebooks in our classroom. And I went to 5 back-to-school nights and listened to the teachers. And it really is, it's been a long time since I've had kids in school. My baby's 31, so that kind of gives you an idea. But I'm just so excited about education today. I see the new books, and I see the Chromebooks, and I listen to how they learn, and it really is awesome. I mean, I wish my kids were in school today. But they've all graduated from college, so don't let anybody tell you that this district isn't doing things. It can't produce college graduates. They can, And my problems child graduated from the University of Laverne, so there you go. And there's hope for everybody. If she can do it, anybody can. So let me see. I'm excited I want to go to Rivercrest. I think they're going to be having their open house tomorrow night, back to school night. And so I will continue to go to as many as I can. But we have fantastic and beautiful construction that is going to be happening in this district. So don't let anybody tell you that nothing's happening. It is happening. Now, the FFA program, I am concerned about that. I think that when the time is right, I think we should get an update or a progress report or something from the teachers. We're not hearing from the other side. If you have concerns at your particular school, go see the principal. I think that's where the communication needs to happen within the school. We don't know. As Linda said, we're not micromanaging the principals at the school or the program, but we from our understanding, we have a great program, or we're just getting a great program started. I don't know, really, to tell you the truth. But, tell us, hope that you guys get to a place where you feel confident with the program and that things are moving. I'm sorry they're not moving. It probably is not going to be exactly the same. And there's reasons why the classes might be different, or someone else is sharing someone else's class. But, we need other programs as well. Construction program is going to be a really great program. My husband took that in high school in Nebraska, and he did the rehab work on our house. So just because of that wasn't his trade. But anyway, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot available. Make the most of your high school years. You do not have them come by again. It's only once in a lifetime. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I had the opportunity to go to Granite Hill and Van Buren's back to school nights. A lot of good stuff happening, and a lot of talk about the Chromebooks and wondering. So each principal is meeting at their school to talk about the Chromebooks and discuss and answer questions for the parents. And we've also had some district meetings. So if you have questions about those, please contact your school and they can get you in touch. If they don't know the answer to your questions, they can get you the answers quickly or point you in the right direction for those. Thank you, ladies, for coming out tonight and for helping Rubidoux tonight. Even though they're that rival school, we appreciate your giving their announcements for tonight, and she'll have the opportunity probably to do yours one night. So thank you, and thank you for staying tonight. It was a very short meeting. We will have longer ones, but if you need to leave, we understand. You've got homework and that needs to be done, and that comes first. But thank you for staying tonight, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. And for everyone that's here, thank you for coming out tonight, and we will adjourn until the next meeting. Thank you.